Ugh, it's never coming home, is it? Hi guys, Harry here. And unless you've been living under a rock, you will have heard that the England national team got knocked out of the World Cup by Argentina. And really, it was just a disgrace. The England team, or Tuchel, whoever was, well, it was Tuchel, in that plan, completely bottled it. And I'm just going to go over my raw thoughts on on, well, the mentality problem behind the England national team and why we can never seem to win anything. And yeah, still after all this time, it's still not coming home. So, on Wednesday, the 15th of July, England faced off against Argentina for a place in the World Cup final. And, of course, there was a bit of trepidation like there was with the last two matches. Again, England coming up against Mexico was hard, coming up against Norway was hard. The reigning world champions Argentina was, of course, always going to be hard. However, I think England played probably the best game they played when they went up against Mexico. It was at Mexico Stadium, at the Azteca, dealing with that high altitude. It was going to be a really tough surrounding, especially with all the Mexican fans there, bringing out the best support that they can. And it was a really tense atmosphere, especially for the England team. However, of course, Jude Bellingham prevailed. No altitude, more altitude. And yeah, it felt like a bit more of a turning point for England. We really only played a good 45 minutes against Croatia in our first World Cup match, the first opening match that we played in the group stages. But this felt like more of a turning point. And yeah, we were a bit lucky against Norway, but their goal also came from luck as well. So going up against Argentina, there felt like there was a real chance to win this. And of course, if you don't know anything about football, you probably don't know hardly any of our team players, but you probably don't know any of the Argentina players either, apart from Messi. However, looking at their team, you can see that, well, on first glance, it looks quite intimidating. However, looking at it again, there are a couple of things that can make it maybe feel not as bad. So the starting lineup for Argentina was Martinez, Molina, Romero, Martinez, Tagliafico, Pereira, Simeone, Fernandes, McAllister, Alvarez, and of course Messi as well. Now, of course, that seems like a daunting team, as I said, on first glance. But then you look at it, Romero, he is at a failing Spurs team who finished 17th 2 times in a row. It's not exactly proficient, or is it? There's also the other centre-back, Martinez, who plays for, honestly, an underperforming Manchester United team as well. There's also Fernandes as well, who just finished 10th with Chelsea. No way this Chelsea team should be finishing 10th. Also, McAllister has been underwhelming at Liverpool. Alvarez can't get, even though he is worth over £150 million, he can't get past a 38-year-old Messi. And yes, Messi as well. Messi is 38 now. He is coming to the end of his footballing career. And I'm not saying that they're not good, but when you look at it, you think that our team could have a chance. I mean, Pickford, James, Stones, Gay, Spence, Rice, Anderson, Rodgers, Bellingham, Gordon, Kane. That is a team brimming with talent. So there was a way that we could get past this Argentina team. And Tuchel was the man to do it. He was the man brought in to get us to the final and win the World Cup. Get us to where Southgate never could. And really, I'm more generous or charitable to Southgate because he got the England team believing again. He got the England fans believing again. They felt like a brotherhood, the England team. They worked together much better than they have in previous eras. And also he got us further than any other manager has previously, excluding the, of course, 1966 World Cup win. However, in modern times, Southgate has probably been the best manager England has ever had. However, he hasn't got us to that final bit yet. He hasn't got us to win the World Cup or win the Euros. So, Thomas Tuchel was brought in for this exact reason. And I can honestly say it was like watching Southgate England again, in the worst way possible, though. So, England go 1-0 up against the reigning champions Argentina in the 55th minute. Courtesy of a Morgan Rogers cross into Gordon, who put the ball calmly into the back of the net, sneaking in past the Argentina defence. And it felt like, this is it, we can win this match, maybe even win the World Cup. However, of course that didn't happen. As soon as the goal went in, we went into like a back nine almost. It was just crazy. We reverted to a back three or back five if you want to include wing backs in the defence. And then even after that, we switched to a more defensive midfield with O'Reilly being substituted on in the midfield when he has primarily played as a defence player. And across this World Cup, I have always been baffled by the substitutions that Thomas Tuchel has made for the England squad. However, of course, it has won every time. And when he substituted Gordon off for Konza, I was still baffled by it, but I was like, he has to know what he's doing. He's done it every single time before. But no, we just sat back and we soaked up pressure. And eventually, with the amount of talent this Argentina team has, because I know I said it wasn't as good as it was 4 years ago, it is still an amazing team. And yeah, they were bound to score when you are literally just defending for like 40 minutes, almost half of a football match we were defending for. And Argentina were going to break down our deadlock defence eventually, and it came courtesy of Enzo Fernandez scoring the equaliser. And Garnacho has always had the banner, the unfortunate thing of that he is the Chelsea player with the most punchable face. And no, I don't think that's true. Enzo Fernandez has the most punchable face. And before any Argentina or Chelsea fans come at me saying I have a punchable face, if I did that smug face that Enzo Fernandez is doing, I would want to punch my face too. Yes. And also, I said he is the Chelsea player with the most punchable face. I will never play for Chelsea, ever, ever, ever. I am not anywhere near good enough. Nowhere near. But, of course, that wasn't it. Because, yeah, there was more to come. Because even after conceding that goal, Tuchel had put on too many defensive substitutions that we did not have the personnel to then try and go and get the winner. However, of course, Argentina had that. They had the possession, they had the goal back, they were smelling blood in the water. And in the 92nd minute, Martinez was, well, the Inter striker got subbed on late in the game, and in the 92nd minute, he scored the winner. Yes, Lautaro Martinez popped up and just scored. He was given way too much time, space. England were floundering around, and yeah, that was all she wrote. Even with the 9 minutes left, it was still the Argentina show, and England had no outballs. Kane was still on the pitch, and he had no legs in him to run after a ball that Pickford kicked up the pitch. It was all pressure on England, and Argentina had all the possession. They could have even got a third one. They had many chances. Hitting the post, saves from Pickford, last-ditch tackles from England, unlucky shots really from Argentina. Argentina fully deserved to win the game because Tuchel sat back and invited pressure. Tuchel is a Champions League winning manager with a front three of Havertz, Mount and Werner. And with all respect to them, Havertz, yeah, he's a good footballer, but I wouldn't call him a multiple Champions League winner. He was almost that with Arsenal the season just gone, but yeah, he is not a multiple Champions League winning player, with all due respect to him. Mount has been an injury-prone still muffin at Manchester United, and Timo Werner couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 5 yards away from it. And yet he somehow won the Champions League with that front three and that Chelsea team, under blue coat ownership, which has ruthlessly cut away any manager that doesn't perform, and best managers like Maresca, who is a really good manager. I do admit that he wouldn't be the City manager for the next season if he wasn't, has been tossed aside by this blue coat ownership. And it is just amazing how that manager can go from winning the Champions League against arguably the best manager of the modern day, Pep Guardiola, how he can beat that manager and that prevalent Manchester City team and win the Champions League. However, when it comes to England against an Argentina team that is not as good as it was 4 years ago, that we actually managed to score first against, he just sits back and yeah, it's a disgrace really. Just, you sit back, you are definitely going to concede at least one goal sooner or later. It was like how Southgate lined up against the Italy squad back in the 2020 Euros. And really, since it went to penalties, I can forgive him somewhat. But this has to be the worst defeat since probably Iceland back in 2016. It just hurts that much. And yeah, I mean, of course, congratulations to Argentina. It sticks in my throat. But they were the better team. Although Argentina winning and England losing that match shouldn't surprise me. And I don't mean like we have a mentality problem, although I think we might have. But I actually predicted this at the start of the World Cup. This is being recorded before the third, fourth place match and before the final. So I don't know who the winner is. But if you just look, I have the Daily Mail pull out. If you look at my predictions right there, you can see that I predicted Spain to be the winners, Argentina runner-up, third place France, fourth place England, and yeah, Golden Ball, Lamau, Golden Boot, Mbappe. You can see that, Messi will win the Golden Boot, so you know it's not rigged. Yeah, I predicted that at the start of the tournament, that I predicted the semi-finals completely right. I predicted the finals correct. Well, maybe not the outcome, but what teams will be in the finals. And yeah, so it shouldn't be surprise me that happened. But I can't not believe the football gods must be laughing at me that I predicted it correctly in the outcome that I definitely did not want. But yeah, I predicted it correct somehow. Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. And Tuchel. On one hand, I think, should we sack him? On the other hand, who do we even get? I mean, we won't get Pep Guardiola or Ancelotti or anyone like that. I mean, the best English manager, Eddie Howe, who just slumped to an embarrassing 12th place with Newcastle last season. Yeah, it's not looking good for the England team. But we will all still believe again probably in Euro 2028, even though we probably should have learned our lesson. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you even follow the World Cup? If you do, what did you think of the match? And I don't know, the England national team, Thomas Tuchel, disgraceful performance. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Unbelievable.